Okay, here we are in sunny Florida. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. The humidity is already stifling. I think I can reach out and touch it. I'm going to go out and check on the old Terminator for the first time since getting here. And there's my brother, the master mechanic, cleaning up the air conditioner so I'll be able to work in comfort. And there she is. I am just giddy with anticipation. And amazingly, it looks just like she did when I left her. I'll be sending the occasional updates so you all can revel in my progress. But gotta come a long way, but still got a long way to go. Hopefully we'll get her done. Till next time, guys. Later. Well, we're starting to sand it. Hang the right side sheet metal. I'm getting ready to do the final primer and sanding. Got these fancy sanding blocks you can bend to the shape of the curve. Get a nice flat surface when you sand. Things are progressing pretty quickly actually right now. We'll probably have this right side done and final primer and sanding tomorrow, and we'll do the left side, making lots of dust. Bye. This is probably what the next week is going to consist of for me. Taking your old handy sanding blocks, just going at it. Fun stuff. You should try it sometime. Now here's something I found kind of interesting. You take this black powder and you drop it on the floor first. Then you rub it on the door or whatever it is you're wanting to sand, and it's like a guide coat. That lets you see where your high spots and your low spots are. Of course, you probably all knew that already, right? Cool. Well, this was rather disappointing. I bought these Dayton tubeless tires, and when I had them mounted, I took them to a tire specialist, and when they mounted them, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the mounting tool drug across the top of these seals on top of the spokes, cut into them, and out of the 4 tires they mounted for me, 2 of them leaked. So I'll be busy with a wire wheel cleaning all that out, and get me a tube of 3M window weld. Gonna patch it back up and take them someplace else. Fun times. Well, we had an interesting thing happen the other day. We were fitting the deck lid, and we got it to fit quite nicely actually. Seams were all good until we went to put the seal on. I don't know if you can see it, but it sticks up quite higher than the edge of the car. And when you try to close the boot lid, this seal holds the boot lid up so far, there you can see it sticking up above the edge, that the boot wouldn't close. You would have to really crank that boot lid down to get that thing to seal. I then did some checking on the internet and found that this is a common problem with these seals, at least the ones currently available. Some of the people were taking and slicing the bottom so they could push it down farther, or cutting this lip off the top. Well, as luck would have it, when I did my original restoration 30 years ago, somehow I ended up with 2 boot seals. And you can see the difference here quite handily, how much smaller the one I bought 30 years ago, and this is actually just as soft and pliable as it was 30 years ago. And it's considerably smaller. You can see the difference there. And with the old boot seal, it actually fit quite nicely. So I'm going to be using the old boot seal. So if you're in the market for a new boot seal, you might want to check around, because this one here is from the Roadster factory. Both of them are, actually. And if you read the Roadster factory's description, they make their own, and they make it to their own specifications. And their new specifications is causing me and a lot of other people a lot of trouble. And it seemed to not be isolated to just the Tr4, Tr250. People with Tr2s and 3s were also complaining about not being able to close their boot lids after installing these new seals. So, caveat emptor, later.
Okay, as you can see, the right side panels are still a work in progress, but the good news is all the sanding, blocking, priming, and elbow grease on the left side sheet metal has led to this. What we have here are some absolutely laser straight panels. I gotta say, I am quite pleased. So, all that's left to do on these is, when they dry, we'll hang them on the car, hit them with the 400, and then when the right side's done, we will paint the car. Awesome! See you guys. Well, all the preparatory body work on the left side sheet metal is done. All the blocking, sanding, priming, and elbow grease has led to this. Some absolutely laser straight panels. So when these dry completely, tomorrow I'll be out here with some 400 grit, sanding them, and then it's off to the paint. We are making some serious progress here today. Can't wait. See you guys. Well, I purchased the Caswell copycat system, and I've got some parts here that I've already acid dipped to remove the old plating and degreased. And as you can see, one of the main ingredients is ice cold beer. That's a must-have. And over here you will see our still. We are cooking up some home brew. Instead of purchasing their $130 heater, my brother had an old electric grill, and what we did is we put a pan on top of the grill, filled it full of water to make a double boiler. And I've got my first piece plating as we speak. Hope that turns out nice. But yeah, the grill worked out really well. It heated up the solution nicely and saved me $130. So we'll see how the part turns out. Well, I got a few parts done. They turned out pretty good. They're just a little yellower than I would have liked them. Probably left them in the chromate solution a few seconds longer than I wanted to get the desired look. But all in all, it turned out pretty good. Well, I finished the plating, and for the most part, it turned out pretty good. The only thing is, it's
more yellow than I would have liked. That's probably because I either left them in the chromate too long or maybe put a little too much chromate in the parts. And on this one, I tried to get a little fancy. And I used a Dremel to try to polish the zinc before I chromated it. Well, it's kind of hard to see here. It was impossible to get an even finish using a Dremel, and it shows up in the plating. You can kind of see the irregular surface there. But for the most part, I'm happy with it. It certainly was a learning experience. Well, the 4 fenders are done, and the 2 doors, at least the inside treatment is done. We sprayed the inside of the fenders with rocker chutes or shuts, and then instead of undercoating it, I decided to go ahead and paint it red like the rest of the car. Call me crazy, but I like it. And there's the fenders with their shuts and paint. And over here we just got done edging in and painting the inside of the doors. Pretty slick, if I don't say so myself. So the next step is going to be let them dry, hang them on the car, sand them with the 400. Now of course we still got to do the trunk. There's the deck lid. Hood's outside, we still got to do those, and then all the sheet metal will be ready, and we will paint this puppy later. Well, here I am working on the hood, becoming one with the DA sander. Spent the better part of a day with a brush and a can of aircraft stripper, getting the various layers of paint off of the car. Funny enough, the original coat of paint was the hardest to get off. It took about three coats of the aircraft stripper to get the majority of it off. You can see there's still a little bit there. And here is my brother becoming one with, or he is one with the sanding block. One of these days I'll be able to snatch the sanding block from his hand and become the master myself. Fenders, doors are sanded and are ready for paint. As soon as we get this trunk and hood done, we're going to paint her. I'd say a few days and it'll be painted. I can't wait. Awesome sauce. See you guys later. Bye. Hello, it's me again. We are hanging the sheet metal on the car in preparation for painting. My brother has got the gaps on these fenders and doors quite nicely. She's starting to come together. Hello, it's me again. Things are starting to get pretty exciting around here. We finished up the boot lid. We painted the inside of it. Got the brace in. And over here, my brother is working on the bonnet. And if you notice this little area here, this was totally my fault. I had a moment. I was trying to remove the felt that's between the braces and the hood on the underside, and I pried a little too aggressively, and when I did, it made a few little dents in the hood. Well, he metal finished that out, and that came out real good. They basically are gone, and now we just got a little skim coat on there. Sand that off, and this will be ready. And over here, my hood had a stress fracture right here. He's welded that in, and that has probably come, it's right where the brace stops and then turns into a single piece of sheet metal, and that has probably come from me yanking this big old heavy hood open with this corner. So what I asked my brother to do was to weld in, maybe a 6-inch piece of sheet metal on the inside right across here, sort of reinforce that, and that should take care of that. And over here, the body is ready. We've got the panels hung on, got the dash and the back area all primed and sanded and ready to paint. Probably be next weekend before we can actually get this into the paint booth and paint it. So that's going to be real exciting. We've just temporarily lined everything up, see how it would look, and the door jambs, came out good. Got it covered up with plastic since I had washed it the other day, and trying to keep it as clean as we can since we had to do that little bit of repair work on the hood. So won't be long now and I can start slapping her back together. Fun times. Later. I was originally going to put bullet mirrors on the car, but then I saw a car with these Vitellani baby turbo mirrors, and I thought it looked really nice. They kind of have a modern yet classic feel. Well, it'll sit on the car like that, and of course the mirror's going to be down, but I think it's going to look pretty good. Hopefully. We will see. Okay, here's an update on the mirrors. What we did is drilled a couple of holes in the door, inserted these inserts, compressed them down, and then I screwed the base on, and that's a real nice fit. And I think the mirror looks rather snazzy. No, it's not classic like a bullet mirror, but I think it'll make the car look sporty and classic at the same time. Pretty neat.
Well, here we are, the day before the big day. This will be the Terminator's last day in gray. It is a good day indeed. Tomorrow, we put her in the trailer and we haul it to the paint booth, and she gets her new coat of paint. Can't wait. Well, we have arrived at the body shop, and as soon as we got here, the gates of heaven opened up and it is pouring. So we're going to have to sit around here for a while and wait. There's our paint boost we'll be using. Hopefully, if we can ever get the car out of the trailer. Well, it quit raining, and we got the car out of the trailer, and we got her in the paint booth. Now all we got to do is finish taping it up. And we are in business. Well, here we are. It is Saturday, October the 4th, 2014. We've got the car and the parts in the booth. It is ready to go. It's all masked up, taped up. All we got to do now is wipe it down and paint it. Got the doors off, sitting over here. And in the other booth, we've got all the parts. Besides all the parts, we also got my brother. The hood, fenders, deck lid. Won't be long now. Well, the Terminator now has 3 coats of signal red, chroma base on it, and it is looking rather red. Pretty soon we'll be hitting it with the clear. And not only will it be red, it will be shiny. And here is the associated body panels with their 3 coats of signal red. Gee, I wonder if I'll run into any other red cars at these car shows. What do you think? Think I'll have to take a number? Waiting on the clear. Well, here it is. We painted it yesterday and it's set in the paint booth overnight. And the Terminator is looking as sexy as a supermodel with some hot red lipstick. Sporting its 8 new coats of paint. We got a layer of sealer, 3 layers of chroma base signal red, and then 4 layers of chroma base premier clear. She is super slick. And the rest of the parts are over here. You guys enjoying the tour? This is a symphony in red. And now the fun begins.
There's my little scuttle vent. All right. Well, now we gotta load her back up and take her home. And here we have her with all the tape off. Well, most of the tape off anyway. Well, here we are back home. We just hung the sheet metal on the front back on it just to make it easier to bring home. And the lift's in the way. All right. I don't have no commentary because I am speechless. Let the games begin. Okay, well, I'm wiring the car, and I gotta tell you, if you've never wired a car or installed a new fuse box, it is not for the faint of heart. This thing has had me scratching my head on a number of occasions. It is interesting, to say the least. I have got about every wiring blueprint available, and none of them seem to be exactly 100% correct. So you still have to use your imagination. I have started installing the new fuse box with built-in relays and flashers, and I don't know, about 15 or so fused circuits. And if you have never wired a car or installed a modern fuse box on one of these Lucasized cars, it is not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. This thing has had me scratching my head on a number of occasions, and the biggest problem is that the kit that he sends has a very detailed wiring diagram, but the wiring diagram is for a late model Tr6. And as we all know, late Triumphs, I think, changed the wiring on their cars every single year, and there are significant differences between a late model Tr6 and a Tr250. I've got about every wiring diagram known to man, and it has helped, but it still requires a fair amount of imagination. The kit comes with quite a bit of wire, color coded, although the color codes aren't or don't look like the stock codes. So what I have done on some of the wiring to keep some similarity or semblance of originality, I have cannibalized the original wiring harness. So that's where I'm at now.